So we're just going to start with a little icebreaker to get to know each other. Christy, you'll go last. Welcome, welcome. For me, I'm celebrating that I finally have answers about my health. Yay, and a care plan, and the swelling is down. I can swallow without pain. So thankful for these answers. Laura?
Good. Um, there's like three or four things. I am celebrating that after my last heart healing session. So I facilitate, but I also go for my own purposes. After my last heart healing session, the trigger, the pullback, and the constant fighting of a couple of habits, including my food habits, is dissipated. Like God removed it. Huge, huge. Like I walked around with a sense of I always had to man up to go out to even do things that were fun for me. And it's been years and years of that habit, right? And in this session, God took me back to the original place of that sensation and healed it, broke it. And it's impacted how I feel when on my way to work, how I feel to go out and meet with friends, and how I feel with food. Huge, huge. You never know what God's going to do or how he's going to do it. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Next, we'll go to new Emily, and then to Marv, and then Amanda.
Am I new,
That's
Emily?
you. You're new.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure which one. I am celebrating that my short story won honorable mention for the family fiction Spark Flash Fiction for cutest romance. So
That's amazing.
I
Way
was
to
blown
go.
away.
So cool.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm celebrating for the past 2 months I've had a bum hip, right hip, and so I've been getting physical therapy and it's slowly getting better, but we went on vacation in October and I had to have a walking stick to go up the Upper Peninsula, but it was beautiful anyway. But yeah, so we've got that, and I'm also raring to go on some more editing. So yeah,
So glad you're here, Marv. That
yeah.
sounds lovely. The vacation. Amanda?
So I'm celebrating something very different. I bought this house in August and I've been doing some little projects and I see that wall. I
Yeah.
painted that and built built that little feature thing with like I
Beautiful.
used a miter saw and cut the wood pieces and so this week I'm like I think that's partly why I'm in this room so I can look at it and go, look what I did. It's so fun and I love it so much how it turned out.
That's amazing because that takes guts to try to build something new and then it's like permanent. And I love that today you get to bask and just look at it. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's beautiful. We'll do Emily, songwriter, and then Christy.
I may have mentioned this in the coffee chat earlier this month, but I am celebrating um, the flow and the unblocking of ideas. I kind of feel like as I have been walking in obedience to focus on the songwriting, instead of sitting here trying to do all of this other um, I want to write this book or I want to write that book. When I was focusing on the books that I was trying to write, um, I didn't have focus and I couldn't decide on a project and I didn't have any sense of any sense of direction. And since I've kind of been following in God's obedience or obeying God and going, okay, I'm gonna focus on the songwriting. I'm gonna focus on getting everything out musically. He's brought a lot more clarity on the non-songwriting projects, and now I feel like I have some momentum in that direction too. So just walking in obedience, unblocking some of the blocks that I've had.
That's amazing. That's such a good feeling. And we don't always know as creatives what will do it. So the fact that you're like listening, leaning in, and then seeing those things unfold is awesome. Christy.
First of all, I'm celebrating that I'm here today because I thought it was next week, so it's cool that I'm here. Um, I think my celebration is just that despite everything that continues to go on in my life, it was 2 weeks ago today, my son was in a game on the football field, unconscious, hit head to head helmet hit, ambulance, ICU, we've been through all that in just 2 weeks ago. But even like in the midst of that, I had a book that went live on that Friday after, and a coloring book yesterday, and my daughter's a part of all the kid book stuff. So she's blossoming, and I'm just trying to like take a minute in the middle of it all. Like my son's doing so much better, even though, he tries to be tougher than he is. That life is chaotic and the chaos doesn't stop. But if we just keep going, he's there in the midst of it all. We just have to show up, even in our hard times. We just have to show up, and he's showing me that.
That's amazing, Christy. Thank you for that testimony and that encouragement. And that actually goes right into the spiritual practice I have for us today. We're going to be doing a Lectio Divina, and I will email you these verses later in case you have the same compulsion I do to write down every word you hear. We're going to be reading scripture from Isaiah 41, verses 9 and 10, and 17 and 18. And as I read it through this first time, just notice what stands out and shimmers to you. You may want to just do that quietly, like as you're breathing and praying. You may want to jot down notes, however the Spirit leads you. Just invite you to plant your feet, take some deep breaths, and really settle into this space together with us, with God. I took you from the ends of the earth. From its farthest corners, I called you. I said, "You are my servant." I have chosen you and have not rejected you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. The poor and the needy search for water, but there is none. Their tongues are parched with thirst. But I, the Lord, will answer them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will make rivers flow on barren heights and springs within the valleys. I will turn the desert into pools of water and the parched ground into springs. Okay, the second time through, I want you to picture yourself in the scene or as if God is speaking these words to you, and just notice any emotions, any sensations, or pictures that come to mind as He speaks these words to you. I took you from the ends of the earth. From its farthest corners, I called you. I said, "You are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." The poor and needy search for water, but there is none. Their tongues are parched with thirst. But I, the Lord, will answer them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will make rivers flow on barren heights and springs within the valleys. I will turn the desert into pools of water and the parched ground into springs. This last time through, I invite you to focus your gaze on Jesus and just notice maybe his expression or the emotion, his stance towards you, any invitations or promises you sense. I took you from the ends of the earth, from its farthest corners I called you. I said, "You are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." The poor and needy search for water, but there is none. Their tongues are parched with thirst. But I, the Lord, will answer them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will make rivers flow on barren heights and springs within the valleys. I will turn the desert into pools of water and the parched ground into springs. Take a few more minutes and maybe look over what you've reflected or just sit with your thoughts and prayers and think about what you want to carry with you into today's writing and maybe even what you think you'd like to share with the group. One of my favorite quotes is that the one spoken to is the one spoken through. And so often when God has a word for us, he may also be giving it to us to share and encourage someone else with as well. Father, thank you so much for your word that is alive and powerful. And thank you that your word is so descriptive and just speaks to our hearts, God. We just give to you this morning our sharing, our writing time, every part of our journey, whether it's the writing, the creative, the home renovations, the organizing, the songwriting. Thank you so much that every part of our lives and our journey gets to be done with you. In Jesus' name, amen. And you don't have to share, so feel free to say pass. But we'll just go kind of in the same order we went earlier. So I'll go, then Laura, Emily, with two E's, Marv, Amanda, Christy, and then Emily, songwriter. Um, so for me, the line that really stood out was, I have chosen you and not rejected you. Because when I go through challenges, I think there's a part of me that always wonders, like, did I do something? Like, there's just that, whether from childhood or wherever, where I just feel like maybe I did something wrong and that's why this is happening. And so that phrase, like, I've chosen you and not rejected you, just brings so much peace of like, I think, Christy, you were the one who said it earlier, like life is hard, like things happen, but God's with us in it and faithful. And so that really hit home today, and I want to take that into the writing. Laura.
My mute button was far, far away. So many things. The action words in this were all the God action words, right? There's very little about what we needed to do or what I need to do. For me, it was that all the action words were all the things God was doing. And in when we were picturing ourselves in the scene, I sensed like Jesus was sitting next to me, looking at the timeline of my life and the timeline of history on both sides of my life, pointing to me, see, I was here and I was here and I was here. And that just removes the burden of worrying about the people in my sphere of influence, where they are with their relationships. Really had a bubbling up of that evangelical heart for my family members, for some friend members. And so that was just really calming and reassuring. But again, I don't have to carry he puts a burden on me for them, but the burden is not mine to carry alone. That makes sense. So yeah, that just really resonated with me. I'm going to carry that with me this week for sure.
Thank you, Laura. Emily with two E's.
I really liked the part about not to fear, that God is going to be with you and strengthen you, because I feel like if you start a new project or a new writing, or you have fears or doubts, like, is it going to be good enough, or am I going to do it justice, or you have all these like things that go through your heads. I feel like if you're in Christ and he is with you, he's not going to like He's going to give you the strength, and he's going to help you and uphold you. And that's just really comforting.
I love that. Thank you. Marv?
Through the first read through, I had tears in my eyes because
Mm,
it was really hitting me. Called from the ends of the earth. In 1978, I was in Japan, and there was an experience, I'll say, in the middle of writing a very, 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 very rough draft of what is now Quest of Freedom that's up on Amazon and BookBaby. And as I was listening, I wrote down that rivers and springs, but the parched waters is grief.
mm,
And uh, I had this fantasy book up, and in the last year, I've been working on branding. How am I going to approach all this and everything? And I keep coming back around, which I did today while we were doing this. It's simply Rivers of Grief, Odyssey of Hope.
mhm,
Forget the series, make these two books companion volumes, and the marketing will go on. There is a third book down the road. I just wrote down what it was, but I won't share that right now. Uh, but what I saw is Jesus by a flowing stream. And
mm,
I've seen that many times that just be calm. And how come this is taking so long? Because nothing great was ever built in a day, or I'm not writing to market. I'm writing for God. So
mm.
his purpose. And I'm seeing that purpose start to slowly flower very slowly. And I'm the only one that can see it right now. But I just, like Emily said earlier, focus on what God's calling me to do.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's powerful, Marv. And I love your like spirit and commitment of faithfulness in this journey, the ups and downs and the
Yeah,
waiting. And I
because
love
it's been a wild one, even my life, because I have been unpacking my life. I'm going through a VA counselor and understanding a lot of the events in my life, even in the service. And when you go back and you dig that all up, it kind of like woof.
yeah,
But it's a healing experience. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you, Marv.
yeah.
Amanda.
Like Marv, I had some tearfulness too when I first heard it, and I'm familiar with Isaiah 41. As soon as you said it, I knew what to expect, and yet I still received something different. And the thing that stood out to me, and I think because it's been kind of an emphasis on my life recently, is how things hit me somatically, like in my body. And so to to hear that God holds me, like what a comforting thing to be held.
Mm,
Um, Not just to be verbally told, um, don't be afraid or I am with you, but to take the time to actually embrace. Like that just felt so powerful to me. And so yeah, thank you.
that's beautiful. I love how, as you were describing being held, like I felt it in my body. Like just that. Thank you for the gift of those words, just for us to remember that. Because I think it's easy to be in our brains, and that somatic, physical is so important to healing and to just being human. Thank you, Amanda. Christy?
I actually got like I made a little picture of like the Lord, kind of holding his hand when he says, I'll uphold you. And I can just see, myself resting in that hand, but yet I'm standing. Um I wrote down, I see you. You aren't standing by yourself. I'm reminding you in a double way. You are a person who writes, but also someone who can speak life and encouragement to others. Our strength is that's in God doesn't come from what we're capable of, but through Him.
Mhm. I love that, Christy. Thank you. Speaking and writing life. Emily?
There were two things that really stood out to me. The first one, it, it's kind of like God added a word in my mind. The word because. So, because I have chosen you, I am with you, I will strengthen you. God saying, well, of course, I chose you, so of course I'm going to be with you. Of course I'm going to
Mhm.
strengthen you. Um, that's why that's why I chose you, that kind of idea. And then just going back to things unblocking and things flowing, the part where it talked about God turning the deserts into pools of water. The word that came to mind with that was provision, unblocking, and flow. Um, and that's what I would love to see for everybody in this writing session is provision and unblocking and flow. That'd be great.
I love that. I'm jotting those words down as like a prayer for all of us as we move forward into today, provision, unblocking, and flow. And then I love the way you described the earlier verses, just made me think of the word commitment. Like God's committed to us, to being with us. Thank you, Emily. Well, I am so glad we're all here. This is my favorite way to start the writing retreats because we get to write from the overflow, and we're going to move into 3 focused writing sessions. And when I say writing sessions, I use that very loosely. We've had people write songs, do journaling, clean an office, do editing, write emails. Like this is your time. And I know I encouraged you to like bring a brain dump of what you might want to work on, but I also more than that encourage you to just notice where the spirit leads and how your energy's doing. Um, and the way that the day goes is we're going to take a 5-minute break so we can go get more water, stretch, and then we'll go into our first writing session. So when we come back from break, we're each going to set a mini goal for this first writing session. And each session is about 45 to 50 minutes, depending on how timely we are and on me. So I have a timer, I set it. You don't have to worry about time. You can just get lost in the flow in your projects. But we share a mini goal because as creatives, we're ambitious and audacious, and the ideas in our brain go very fast and big. But the smaller we can make it, the more likely we are to do it and then get that rewarding dopamine hit that we did our mini goal. And then you can all, sometimes what I like doing is a mini goal and then a bonus, like if there's time, but that way the very small goal, like I'm going to draft an email or I'm going to clean 10 paper, like small, keep it small and light. And then after the writing session, we do a brief check-in, how it went, and we embrace the good, the bad, the ugly. Some writing sessions are amazing and you're on fire, and other ones you're like, you know what, that one was kind of tough, and it's all welcome. And then we take another break, the next writing session, another break, the next writing session. And then at the end of the day, we have some time to reflect on our day and how it went, any lessons learned, things we want to take into the week. And that's also one of my favorite times, that debriefing. Because as creatives, we are constantly learning about ourselves and experimenting with what works and doesn't. And so being able to share that and hear what other people are experiencing and learning just helps us feel not alone. And we can often glean ideas and insights from other people. Any questions about the today or the process? Okay, well, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back for our first writing session.